What's up, guys? This is Anthony Mize. Nice to see you all tonight. And I'm going to introduce you to a few of my spoken word pieces, put them out there. And there have been a few requests to have me do them in voice. So I'm going to do that. I just want to kind of set the table a little bit for things. This first piece that I'm going to read is, what did I title it? Oh, yeah. All about human emancipation, but it comes with rebel yell. And basically this stems from my experiences in teaching. I'm a teacher, and I started off teaching in a really challenging environment in a city called Pacoima. And through that experience, I learned so much about the world, so much about myself, so much about life, so much about poverty, gangs, violence, social ills, power of resilience. And I've said these words 1,000 times, and I wrote them in my narrative, which I'm attempting to publish, called Puddle Deep, and it came from the name of actually a student kind of introduced me to the name, and he said, you never know how deep the puddle is until you step into it. And basically this journey that I went on was traumatic. It took my life on a course that altered the history for me and my family. And basically what happened was I was wrongly included, by one of my former students who said I was grossly ineffective, which means I didn't do my job as a teacher. And this was spearheaded by a billionaire from the Silicon Valley. And the story that connects to it and that ensues and that came before it is interwound in me. It's interwound in everything before me and everything after me. So that's that. And I went through this 2-year process of grieving, of writing, of understanding, of collecting my thoughts, and I put them in this narrative. Throughout the course of my inclusion in this case, one of the people that reached out to me in writing on her blog actually was a woman she's a doctor. Her name's Diane Ravitch, and she was a former Secretary of Assistant under George Bush of Education. So she's a very powerful woman. And now she's an educational historian, just extremely influential in the education community. So she wrote about me in the blog. I thanked her, and then when the book was done, my narrative, Puddle Deep, was done being written after 2 years and a lot of crazy things, including the birth of my third daughter, Hazel, and her time in the NICU, which was 61 days in the hospital. So there's been a lot going on in our world, as in your life as well, I'm sure. So I put my narrative out there on her blog. I released the first 11 pages. She was generous enough, kind enough to allow me a forum for my voice, for my story again. And through that came naturally people that are going to view things in certain lights, positive, negative, whatever. And my first two comments were negative, and it was really funny. It's kind of put in play in this piece. So it kind of talks a little bit about the journey. So it sets you up with this woman, Diane Ravitch. You guys will figure out the rest. But the first two comments I received were not pretty. Like, why am I even an English teacher? That sort of thing. And I have them included in the poem, so you guys can read through that if you want to. But I haven't found a way to tie that in lyrically in terms of my voice. I don't want to do some, like cheesy voice improv thing. So that's going to be left out of this piece. I'm just going to actually read the lyrics, the words, and you guys can go from there. But just know that it wasn't favorably viewed by certain people, and that's going to happen in this world. It just is. So here we go. I'm trying to navigate this thing. You're actually in my garage right now, so I can hear my brain too. So we'll see what comes out of the rest. All right, here we go. It's all about human emancipation, but it comes with a rebel yell. Not just yelling to be rebellious, that's foolish. Done that shit, reckless, shirtless in Vegas, wordless, curseless and hearses, mind blurs, deserted in a desert, need windshield wipers. But my diary of soul had evolved. A generation later was starting to believe stuff, was finally sure of. Then bam, like fucking Vietnam. Robin Williams wasn't saying good morning, neither was Uncle Sam. I was pickled and put in a jam. Without a plan, my brain was all quiet like the ripple of the river before Ho Chi Minh. Then fuck, you look around like damn. Count your fingers to make sure you have both hands. No coffee shop mic or diary that was hijacked. I wrote through the knife, carved away every night, gathered my life. Took 2 years to write. Not bad when unraveling a life, and just might alter the light. When fallen and brought up life moved on, and the words debuted. Not under a fallen branch, it was showtime, so dance. I handed the keys to a secretary. Not office material, kinda surreal. Big business and education, she's a doctor and proctor. Name's Diane Ravitch. Her blog has 25 million hits. She was Assistant Secretary of Education under President G.H.W. Bush, 1991 to 93, December of 2015, when excerpts of my narrative dropped. After digging myself out with a pen for a shovel, this is the first reply my words got. Should have expected as much when you put it to the public for eyes to see. The seas can be rough. It all started when I was told what to do, nonetheless by a grammarian, so fuck it, mistake not mine, cause then the transformation officially began. Went to get cataloged by a librarian, want to be wise, so glean words, listen to musings by a centenary, had some funky line breaks, but not cited for use my imaginarium, thinking like flamingo at the aquarium, pushed back to 9 by reading State and Pluto as a planet at the planet. Fuck, man. Planet at the planetarium, passed on etouffee, but ate crudité with a vegetarian. Like a dealer in suit took the clubs and flipped an ace of hearts that trumps all barbarians. Fucking hard sometimes.